everyone, I hope y'all are having a great day, and today I want to talk about one of my new obsessions, and that is Hamilton, an American musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda. And new obsessions, that's a little bit of a relative term because I've been obsessed with this musical for over a month now, and I tried recording this video a couple of weeks ago, but it is so incoherent I thought I would just try to refilm it. I think I'll end up just mixing the footage of the both times I filmed this. I haven't been this into a musical since The Book of Mormon. The first time I heard Hamilton, I wasn't sure if I liked it more than The Book of Mormon. I thought The Book of Mormon was still better, but now I don't know. I think I like Hamilton more, but it's just insane how much I like this musical. So what is Hamilton?
I am not throwing away my shot!
Hamilton is a hip-hop/rap musical about one of America's founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton, and it was created by a man named Lin-Manuel Miranda. And by created, I mean Lin-Manuel Miranda, this glorious, genius gift from God, not only wrote the lyrics to this, because why stop there? He wrote the music, he wrote the book, and he stars in the musical as Alexander Hamilton. This guy's talent knows no bounds. It's like really unfair. So this is what the CD looks like, but it's on Spotify. So if you haven't listened to it yet, I don't know what you're doing. You need to listen to it. You need to. Admittedly, it's a little bit long. It's like 2.5 hours long. I'm not a huge history person, but I am a huge musical person. I love musicals. The only thing I knew about Alexander Hamilton before listening to this was that he wrote some of the Federalist Papers and also that he died in a duel against Aaron Burr. And now I know so much more. I know he's a bastard, orphan, son of a whore, and a Scotsman dropped in the middle of a forgotten spot in the Caribbean. So I've heard about Hamilton a lot in this year, and I just I guess I've ignored it. I don't know. I heard about it, and I heard that it was about Alexander Hamilton, and I just tuned out. I was like, nope. But finally, on November 19th, I only listened to Act 1 that night, but it was amazing. It changed my life. And I have been listening to it non-stop since then. And the Broadway cast is almost entirely composed of people of color. So this is a hip-hop rap musical about history. How the heck does someone come up with an idea like this? Well, let me tell you. Lin-Manuel Miranda was at an airport, I think, and he just went into a bookshop and was like, let me pick up some light vacation reading. And he's like browsing through the shelves and he's like, oh, this one. This giant tome of over 800 pages about the biography of one of our founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton? Perfect. So he buys it for light vacation reading, and he's barely into it when he's like, holy crap, this guy's story is incredible. Someone must have made a musical about this guy. He looks it up, he doesn't find anything. No one's made this musical. Of course no one has made this musical. Who the heck would make this musical? No one had done it, so he did it. And he spent 6 years working on this musical. And now we have this incredible, record-breaking, life-changing musical on Broadway about Alexander Hamilton with an extremely diverse cast and incredible music. So Hamilton is so innovative in the sense that it's bringing an entirely different musical culture to the stage, but also it's choosing to specifically spotlight POC actors and actresses on stage. And obviously it's working because it's so freaking successful. I'm just so proud of Hamilton. I had absolutely no hand in its creation, and I wasn't even one of the first people to listen to it or anything. I'm like just now getting on this bandwagon, but I'm so in love with it and I'm so proud of it, and I just cannot stop talking about it. I think it's revolutionary. And also LMM does this thing called Ham for Ham, which are little sideshows for people who are waiting for lottery tickets, and those are so fun too. My favorite is definitely the Schuyler Georges, where they get all three men who have played King George to perform the Schuyler Sisters. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to check it out. It is excellent.
I am not throwing away my shot!
Like I said before, the cast is almost entirely composed of people of color, with only a select few people being white, including King George III. Going back to my love for the Book of Mormon, Andrew Rannells originated the role of Elder Price, who's the main character of the Book of Mormon, and also he played King George in Hamilton for a little bit. Jonathan Groff is originally King George on Broadway, but he took a leave and was replaced by Andrew Rannells for a little bit, and Andrew Rannells, my queen, my baby, played King George for a little bit. He's not King George anymore, but I'm just saying my favorite things in intermingle, and it's lovely. Obviously, there's a very stark contrast between the actors who are playing these historical figures and what the historical figures actually look like, since nearly everybody in American history is white. So they practiced colorblind casting, and what Lin-Manuel Miranda wanted to do with this cast was tell the story of America through what America looks like today. And I think Renee Elise Goldsberry, who plays Angelica Schuyler, says it best when she says that what's remarkable about this diverse cast is that history is being told by people who don't necessarily think that this history is theirs. Every single person in this show is perfectly cast. Perfectly cast. I cannot imagine anybody else taking on these roles, and I am so attached to this original Broadway cast. I don't know how I can possibly watch this musical without it being the original cast. Because the realio dealio of this musical is that it's insanely, wildly popular, right? And it's sold out for like the next millennia. So I'm not gonna be able to see it until I'm like retired, probably. And obviously it's not gonna be the same cast when I eventually see it, and that just breaks my heart because I am so attached to this original Broadway cast. Like every single one of these cast members is my beautiful cinnamon roll. There are actors that play the same character throughout the entire musical, of course, like Alexander Hamilton, who is played by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and also Eliza, who's played by Philippa Soo, and Angelica, who's played by Renee Elise Goldsberry, and George Washington, who's played by Christopher Jackson, and of course, Aaron Burr, sir, played by Leslie Odom Jr. But there are also a lot of roles that are dual castings. For example, Daveed Diggs, who plays Lafayette in Act 1, plays Thomas Jefferson in Act 2. Jasmine Cephas Jones, who plays Peggy in Act 1, plays Mariah Reynolds in Act 2. By the way, her name is spelled Maria, so I have no clue why it's pronounced Mariah. Anthony Ramos, who plays John Lawrence in Act 1, plays Philip Hamilton in Act 2. And this actor, I'm putting his name here because I cannot for the life of me pronounce it, but I just call him the Mighty Oak in my head whenever I want to refer to him, so I'm going to call him the Mighty Oak now. The Mighty Oak plays Hercules Mulligan in Act 1 and then plays James Madison in Act 2. What's incredible about all these dual castings is that each of these actors is so talented that they completely nail each of their roles, even though their roles are so different between the acts. Everyone is so good at what they do, at rapping, at singing. Philippa Soo, who plays Eliza, literally has the most angelic voice I've ever heard in my life. It's like honey and butter and everything beautiful and soft in the world. So I recommended Hamilton to like every person in real life that I've ever met, right? And I have not had a single person not like the music. I've also not had a single person not talk about Lin-Manuel Miranda's voice. This is hard to say because I love LMM with all my life, but it would be a lie to say that it wasn't jarring to hear his voice the first time listening to the album. You hear all these wonderful, magnificent voices, and then you hear LMM's voice. It reminds me of in Les Miserables, when you're hearing all these gorgeous, beautiful voices, and then you hear Russell Crowe sing, and you're like, oh. It was kind of like that. Of course, that was only my initial reaction, and now I can't even fathom anybody else portraying Hamilton other than Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's uncomfortable for me to admit that I wasn't a fan of his voice the first time around, because now I look at him and I'm like,
My son, look at my son. Pride is not the word I'm looking for. There is so much more inside me now.
I love the cast so much. Have I mentioned how much I love the cast? Because I love them so much. I love them so much.
I am not throwing away my shot.
Now let's talk about the music. The album is long. The original Broadway cast recording is long. It's 46 songs long, symmetrically divided into 23 songs per act. This is essentially a sung-through musical, which I think is incredible because it's so hard to see this on Broadway, right? But when you have the original Broadway cast recording, the story is almost in full being told through the music, so you get to experience the story even if you're miles away from the stage. I think the only scene that's not included in the album is a scene between Dear Theodosia and Nonstop, and that scene is not a song, really. It's just a scene that has a bunch of heartbreak and sadness. So it's long. There are a lot of songs. 46 songs. One man single-handedly wrote 46 songs and more that have been cut since the musical opened on Broadway. But even though there are so many songs, not a single one of those songs is bad. Of course, like in every musical, there are some songs that you like better than other songs, but there's not a single bad song. Oh my god. I don't know how that is possible. The lyrics are so genius and so clever. The rhymes are always super on point. Lin-Manuel Miranda is incredibly talented with internal rhyme. I don't know how he does it, but he does it so well and so flawlessly. The melodies are always so catchy, so on point. Oh my god, the music is just so good. So some of my favorite songs from the musical are Alexander Hamilton, the Schuyler Sisters, Helpless, Satisfied, Wait for It, Dear Theodosia, Take a Break, Say No to This, even though that song makes me want to pull my hair out and slap Hamilton so hard, and One Last Time. But my absolute favorites, like the best songs I think on the original Broadway cast recording are the Schuyler Sisters, Satisfied, and Wait for It. Satisfied has a permanent spot in my heart because that's the first song that really made me listen to what I was listening to, if that makes sense. I was listening to the album and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. And then Satisfied came on and I was like, oh my god, this is not just really good, this is life-changing, mind-blowing, holy crap, this is a start of a new obsession kind of good. I cried listening to Satisfied. I really didn't even know what was going on in the musical, to be honest, because I was listening to it while I was writing a lab report, so I was focused on my homework. I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics very much because I didn't realize it was a sung-through musical. I didn't realize the story was being told through the songs, but then I heard Satisfied, and oh my god, I was crying. And it wasn't even the first time I listened to Satisfied. It was like the first 17 times I listened to Satisfied, I would just cry. Also, Renee Elise Goldsberry not only has an incredible singing voice, but she's also such a talented rapper. Her enunciation is so clear. It's astounding. Like I said, there are no bad songs on this album, but inevitably I do have some least favorites. These least favorites include 10 Dull Commandments, Meet Me Inside. The rhythm of Meet Me Inside, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda said it was written in 7/8 time. It just feels so weird. I can never fully get into it. What Did I Miss? And The Room Where It Happens. And I know The Room Where It Happens in the production is a showstopper. It's amazing, it's indispensable, it's probably a lot of people's favorites, but I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan of it. Like I said, not a single bad song in this musical, but those are the songs that I might skip if I'm listening to the musical. They're not bad by any means. I just don't like them as much as I like the rest of the songs. Lin-Manuel Miranda is just so fluent in music, I guess. He is so smart when it comes to music and melodies. He knows exactly when to bring back a theme in a song, and the more times you listen to the musical, the better you recognize when he brings in a past song into a new one. And it might just only be like a few notes from a past song, but it's there and it has meaning, it has significance, and he does it so seamlessly. So I think that's it. Of course, knowing me, there are probably a billion more things that I wanted to say or that I could have said, but I just haven't thought of it at this moment. I'm complete Hamilton trash. I want you to become Hamilton trash too. Please listen to this. It changed my life. I just love Lin-Manuel Miranda so much. At this point, I don't know if I want to call him my son or if I want to marry him, and that sounds so weird. I know. Also, my obsession with Hamilton has really spoiled just common phrases for me. Like, I can't hear someone say, I know, without me thinking about Say Live Reprise, and I know. I make like 100 Ham references in my head daily, and no one really knows. Like in history, we were recently talking about gun control, and the second I hear the word guns, I want to say, and ships. And so the balance shifts. I like to bring up Hamilton in any way that I can. So that's it for me. I think if you've endured this long of a video, you've probably already listened to Hamilton, you're probably already a fan. But if somehow you're not, if somehow you haven't listened to Hamilton yet, leave. Go listen to it. So if you listen to Hamilton, let me know what your favorite songs are, also what your least favorite songs are. Also, let me know if any of you guys have seen this, like in real life, like with your eyeballs. Because if you have, I am so incredibly envious of you. But yeah, thanks for joining me in a new episode, I guess, of New Obsessions. I know it was long and disorganized and rambly, but I just love Hamilton so much. So thanks so much for watching. I hope y'all have a fantastic day and happy reading and happy listening to Hamilton forever and ever. Amen. Okay, goodbye.
I am not throwing away my shot.
I will kill your friends and family to remind you of my love. Da 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 da. Everybody, there's nothing like summer in the city. someone in a rush next to someone looking pretty. Excuse me, miss, I know it's not funny, but your perfume smells like your daddy's got money. While you're slumming in the city in your fancy heels, you're searching for an urchin who can give you ideals.
Sir, you disgust me.
Ah, so you disgust me. I'm a trust fund, baby, you can trust me.
I've been reading Common Sense by Thomas Paine. So men say that I'm intense or I'm insane. You want a revolution, I want a revelation. So listen to my declaration. Behold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And when I meet Thomas Jefferson, I'ma compel him to include women in the sequel. Work!
I'm willing to wait for it, wait for it. I'm willing to wait for it.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. I am the one thing in life I can control. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. I am inimitable, I am inoriginal. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it.
I'm not falling behind or running late.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it.
I'm not standing still, I am finding ways. Hamilton Reese's in your uphill climb.
I came as soon as I heard.
Angelica,
All the way from London. Damn!
just you wait.
So this is what it feels like to match wit with someone at your level. What the hell is the catch? It's the feeling of freedom of seeing the light. It's Ben Franklin with the key and a kite. You see it right? The conversation lasted 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Everything we said in total agreement. It's the 3 minutes, a bit of a dance, a bit of a posture, it's a bit of a stance. He's a bit of a flirt, but I'ma give it a chance. I asked about his family. Did you see his answer? His hands started fidgeting. He looked askance. He's penniless. He's flying by the seat of his pants. Handsome boy, does he know it? Peach fuzz, and he can't even grow it. I wanna take him far away from this place. Then I turn and see my sister's face, and she is.
There would have been nothing left to do for someone less astute. He would have been dead and destitute without a cent or restitution. Started working for his late mother's landlord, trading sugar cane and rum and all the things he can't afford. Scamming for every book he can get his hands on. Planning for the future, see him now as he stands on the bow of a ship headed for a new land. In New York, you can be a new man.
Would you like to take it out and ask it? Or should we honor our treaty, King Louis's head? Do whatever you want, I'm super dead, you know?
Number one, I'm a girl in a world in which my only job is to marry rich. My father has no son, so I'm the one who has to social climb boy. So I'm the oldest and the wittiest and the gossip in New York City is insidious. And Alexander is penniless. That doesn't mean I want him any less.
You're on your own. Awesome. Wow.
Who provided those funds?
France.
Immigrants, we get the job done.
So what happens if we win?
I go back to France, I bring freedom to my people.